Hello again. So I'm making another video, kind of pound the table to once again make a public announcement for this GuzzLord control deck. This deck is very good. I think it's an A-tier deck. It has a good matchup into everything except Buzzwole. I think I had about 6 games against Buzzwole and only won 2. But out of the 25, 30 games I've played, I have a very good, consistent 65% win rate with this deck in Master Ball. Now, to do a little overview of the deck, we are running 2 hand disruptions with red card and with Mars. Now, you get additional disruption with silver and the dark pendant. This is all very good. The name of the game is to use as many supporters as possible. Try to get one each turn. Usually it works out that way anyways. And discard energies and just kind of build up into the late game. Now, I went ahead and pre-recorded a few of these games. Um, After a 7 game win streak, as you can see here, I went on a 7 game win streak after going on a lose streak, just trying other decks, just messing around with the format, trying to look into the meta, and went back to this deck and then went on another win streak. And then, as you'll see in this video, I go on another win streak. So this deck is solid. I'm not sure why it's not doing well in tournaments. Maybe Buzzwall's prevalence is so high that it's causing issues for GuzzLord control, but it deals with Oricorio well. It deals with Darktina very well. It deals with a lot of the meta matchups. Donphan, it does very well. If they lead Donphan, you're able to control the game and prevent them from getting into that Rampardos or disrupt them from getting their Lucario, depending on which deck you're playing. And then just keeping them off that energy just kind of neutralizes Donphan, allowing you to get that easy points. It does pretty good against Espeon and Sylveon. Now, they do decks that are able to draw a lot of cards can be a little bit difficult to manage, but that's why you have the Dark Pendant. That's why you have that hand disruption. So even if they do get ahead in cards, you can set them back a little bit. Let's go ahead and jump into these games now. All right, so this first game, I believe, is Sylveon Silvally deck. So very interesting, 2 powerful cards. I wouldn't say that this deck is meta, but I will say that I did make a mistake in this game. As I said, this is pre-recorded, so I'm just reviewing over. Going second is good for us. Now, leading with GuzzLord is always nice. Though, I will say that sometimes you brick with every deck, but in this case, when you brick with this deck, you have to hold that you can hold off until you can get the cards you need. But thankfully, that's what a control deck is good for, slowing down the game so that you can carry into the late game. So immediately, I'm looking at this going, what are they playing? Silvally and Sylveon, I assume. So right off the bat, I may have wanted to hold the Professor, assuming that they have a red card, but I went ahead and drew the cards. And if they run their own Professor again, or if they run a Sylveon here, I have the Mars in hand. But again, I should have probably thought about this a little bit more. Right here, they decide to find a friend, which means there's a good chance they get Sylveon. So I thought, okay, let's go ahead and Mars them. Here's the hand, but I think it actually would have been a better decision to just silver and get rid of any potential hand disruption they have, or to just Team Rocket Grunt and ensure that I remove an energy here. So this mistake actually kind of hurts us and carries over and snowballs. I don't get the energy here, so this allows them to continue to set up. And as you'll see here, they play the Sylveon on the back line, and they're going to find a friend in the front line. So they are very far ahead now, and I have used all my hand disruption. I think Sabrina would have been good, Team Rocket would have been good, Silver would have been good, even just running my own Professor would have been good. So the mistake I made there is just playing my Mars too early. Let's continue. So we will for sure take out their Eevee here. So I go ahead and want to look at their hand, and I do not want the Mars. Red card's scary, silver is annoying, but I'm pretty sure I get rid of the Mars. Yep. All right. I also only have one Pokemon, so I am looking to get that second GuzzLord, and then maybe lose. I mean, it would have been nice to have that energy last turn, because they will put the Silvally in, or the type null in, and then they will get the Silvally, and we know they have red card, we know they have silver in their hand, so this is already looking bad for us. They give them the cape, so they will be outside of the range for Tyrannical Hole. That sucks. Yeah, this is going to be a tough game for us. The only thing we can hope for is that we discard all their energy. But even that is going to be hard to come back from in this game. But we have every card in our hand. Now, the question is, do they play the red or do they play the silver? And they play silver. I think that's smart because that allows them to for sure get off a KO next turn. And I just have to hope that I draw into Pokemon. That was smart, getting rid of this Sabrina. One thing I will say about this deck is that it does particularly well into Silvally, because you have to think of it this way. If you discard an energy from Silvally and they have to use another energy, or you discard two and they have to wait another turn, you can kind of think of it as Silvally's attack taking 3 energy, or Silvally's attack saying like, hey, after this turn, you know, you can't attack. That just kind of makes the card not as good. Now, granted, I only get rid of 1 energy here. I was trying to double up with the Team Rocket Grunt, and I failed. So he is going to take out the frontlining GuzzLord. Now, I have to hope that I get a Lusamine. If I get a Lusamine here, the game is good. We were in a good place. Now, if I don't, again, I have to rely on getting rid of energies. I guess Celesteela, that's not very good. But getting rid of energy is good. However, I will say I've noticed that whenever I do run Will for Grindcore, that second energy never comes. So I'll get the first one heads, obviously, but I never get that second one. I do think Team Rocket Grunt and doubling up and getting 2 energies has been more efficient for me. You're given that 50-50, but sometimes I'll get 2 on one or 2 on the other. Now we know he plays a red. This is a rough spot for me. There's no way of coming back from this, even if I discard all energy here. I can slow the game down, try to build up. But yeah, you can see that sometimes Team Rocket Grunt will just give you 2 energies. Yeah, there's no reason for me to tag. It doesn't matter one way or the other. I have 3 energies, so I'm gonna have that ability to stay on a hole. But now I'm on the defensive. If he has Cyrus on the turn after this one, he wins no matter what. So my goal here is to just keep Cyrus out of his hand, keep Sabrina out of his hand. Hopefully we can draw into something here. Lusamine would be very good for us. Dark Pendant doesn't help us because we cannot take another hit on the GuzzLord. It would have been really, really nice earlier in the game. But as you can see, he's given up on this frontline Silvally, so it allows us to stall, slow the game out. That's one thing that this deck is going to try to do a lot, is just slow down the game, stall it out, and get to the late game where you have enough control over the game to inevitably get the W. Now, we do lose this game. It's a close game though. All these games are always close. This deck has really good matchups into everything. Neymar is, but we don't really care. Neymar is just 2 cards. We get Sabrina, we get Celesteela. Celesteela helps us. It's another body. We can stall another turn. Just use the silver. Lyra. So we know they have Lyra. Lyra is a really strong card, but if you think about it, Celesteela is just as strong. The reason why I only run Celesteela in this deck is because the double pivot's really useful. It's like having Leaf and Lyra in your deck at all times with Ultra Beasts. pivoting out from poison, pivoting out so that they have to use a Cyrus or Sabrina. It's just very strong ability that's just on a stick. It's just on Celesteela. Again, Dark Pendant doesn't really help us, but I go ahead and throw it down. Now, see, we're still in this game, even though we're in such a bad position, which is incredible. If I flip heads, which I think I do flip heads here, now we have a chance. We're still in it, despite the early game misplays that kind of hurt us into the late game. Granted, this is also a strong deck. Sylveon and Silvally are both really powerful cards, and then you just throw in Giratina, and it makes for a good deck. You have consistency and draw, and honestly, against a control deck, it can be hard to combat here, but we can't allow him to take out the Celesteela. So the goal here, I guess what I'm trying to do is we know he has to play Giratina. We do extra damage against Giratina, so we're going to try to just remove one energy. If we can remove one energy, we win the game. So it really comes down to this 50-50. And unfortunately, I don't think we get the 50-50. Now, I attach the energy in the back because we still have the chance to get Luzamine. Yeah. If we hit that energy, he couldn't retreat, although we know he has Lyra, so he would have been able to retreat anyways. So yeah, we just lost this game. So our 7-win streak was broken, but we're about to go on another win streak and break back into the top 10K. So previously, I'd been trying out a lot of other decks. Some Ho-Oh Lugia, wasn't having any luck. I played some Espeon, Sylveon, I wasn't having any luck. So I just came back to this deck, and I've been having a lot of luck, even though this deck requires a lot of coin flipping. Honestly, the coin flipping, pretty consistent. 50-50 coin flip is still strong. So you'd think that you would want to have more heads than not, and you would just win more. But really, half the time, if you can just get some crucial energy detachments, or you can get some KOs with Will on a Celesteela or something, like this game can be handled pretty well with 50-50 coin flips. Okay, so we're going into Giratina. And this is another area where this deck really shines. If they have to build a Giratina in the front, you are able to slow them down significantly just by discarding one. If you can discard two, you'll see, like, sometimes you can just tell from the start. Even getting red carded, it's like, whatever. The deck is so good at just getting what you need consistently. We know he's going to be able to do Broken Space Bellow and get another energy next turn. He just used his hand disrupt, so I'm just gonna cough up my hand, and then I just need one energy, just one energy. And we have like Team Rocket Grunt in the deck, we have Will in the deck, so just getting that one energy is pretty consistent to just discard one energy. And he is having a hard time because he only has Giratina in the front. Clearly he's playing the Sylveon, Greninja, Giratina, which is a strong deck, but I do think control in the aspect of discarding energy in this scenario for sure is crucial. So we do discard that one energy, so he's one turn behind now. Now, I believe we get a second energy here as well, which is just, if you were looking at this game right now and you're thinking, hey, what is the likelihood that you're going to win the game if you start at 50-50? 70% chance already. We're going to win the game now. It's going to be so difficult for him to come back from this, no matter how many cards he draws. Like, getting double Greninja, like, we'll see. But you'll really get the feel for this deck, and you'll really start to feel that, like, oh, at a certain point in the game, you kind of just take over. Look at my hand. I have Sabrina. So once I take out this Greninja, I have Sabrina in hand. I have the Mars if he takes out the GuzzLord. I have all my Pokemon, so I have 3 pivots. I can build the backline here if I want and just continue hitting, but there's no reason to because I haven't taken any damage. next turn he will be able to hit me, but I kind of don't care because I have the Lose Mean in hand and I have the Dark Pendant on, so he's going to discard a card. Like, it just feels like you get into a position where the game is in hand. Now, does he retreat? He does not retreat, if I remember correctly. He just attacks, goes down to 30. And again, I don't care if I lose the frontline GuzzLord at all because I have Lose Mean in hand. I do think he makes a mistake here, actually, and he hits the back line because he's thinking, oh, well, I have Cyrus. Again, though, we can get rid of cards. We'll end up getting rid of a Cyrus, I believe. This deck is annoying to play against. And it's not fun to play, I guess, unless you like being toxic and mean, which I guess I do. If people BM me, I will BM them. Yeah. I do, I do think I have yet to run into a mirror match with this deck. Nobody's playing this deck. That mirror match is going to be brutal. See, I get rid of the Cyrus. That's massive. It doesn't matter. Once he gets, I got just red card anyways. I'm feeling pretty confident. There's no reason to attach to the front, attach to the back, so we can lose him in the back line after he takes this Pokemon out. This doesn't matter. It would have been nice to flip that heads the turn before. But slowing him down by 2 turns is kind of what led us to the victory, because now he has no energy. He can't follow up attack here. His only shot is to Professor into a second Greninja. Which he may do, actually. I can't remember. Alright, so here's the thing. He has to get rid of Sabrina. Sabrina wins the game for me on the spot, right? But I have Luzamine. And Luzamine is going to be very good after they take out the GuzzLord. Silver's good. Silver allows me to get rid of either Cyrus in his hand or Mars in his hand. Yeah, get rid of the Cyrus. And puts him, yet again, 1 card behind. If he attacks me, he loses the card, sets him back. If he dirtles and does nothing, he loses cards, gets set back. And now we have the ability to Cyrus if we draw into Cyrus. Granted, he still has to go through 2 GuzzLords, and unless he tries to Cyrus the Celesteela. Honestly, if he wouldn't have hit the Celesteela here, the Cyrus would not be as necessary because he would have already killed the GuzzLord. He will kill the GuzzLord here. We got rid of the Cyrus in his hand, so we don't have to worry about that. Potentially, he could have drawn it. This deck is so strong because it slows the game down. And current meta is very fast, get going, a lot of card draw, a lot of acceleration with energy ramp. So when you slow the game down, a lot of decks kind of fumble. And people are so used to the same routine that when you get thrown off a little bit, you'll see some people just start making mistakes. It's very strong. Now, he could win this game here by double Greninja. So, like, say he does double Greninja here, actually. He gets the second Greninja. However, what is the likelihood he has the Cyrus as well? It's like, he would have to have the 3 perfect cards to win. And he doesn't, and he kind of just does a bunch of random stuff, and I'm like, what are you doing, dude? Like, if you have the Cyrus, just use it. If you don't, concede. And I don't know, he switches out for some reason. Just being, I guess he's hoping that I misclick. So I'm kind of like, all right, just I guess I'll just play my cards too. do what I'm gonna do. Go down to nothing. Just Mars. Maybe he draws the Cyrus here. It's like unfortunate. All right, so we win this game. pretty easy game too. They had a chance, but they would have had to have drawn perfectly at the end. They would have just had to get very lucky. And that was the best deck of last meta. I don't know if it's as good now. I think its matchups have changed. So even though that was like the S tier deck of the last meta, I think it's just an A tier deck now. So this deck is also, I would consider A tier. It's up there. I mean, I have a very high win rate with it in Master Ball. However, it does struggle significantly against Buzzwole. So, you know, if you're running into a lot of Buzzwole, just stop playing this deck, or just run Buzzwole yourself. Buzzwole is still good, but I do think Buzzwole has hard matchups in this current meta as well. So we're going up against Sylveon and Espeon here, I believe. But this starting hand is great when you're going first. I don't know what I was trying to do there. Dark Pennant is really good. We have both in hand. We can, I think I would Professor here over Research, just to kind of get some extra cards in hand. And since we already played the Pennant, even if they red card me or Mars me, and I go down one card. See, there you go. When we get Pokemon, now it's very unlikely that they're going to Mars or red card me. Now, I believe... Yeah, I kind of want to leave that in the front, just so if they do decide to attack me for that 30, they'll go down. But I believe they Guzma and get rid of the Dark Pendant, but I'm not too worried since I have the second Dark Pendant in hand. Guzma is not as prevalent in this meta, so usually Dark Pendants stick. You don't see them as often as you used to, but not too worried about it. Lusamine is a very good card. Now, he only has 2 cards in hand, so I really want to just get rid of that energy. But both Silver and Team Rocket Grunt could be good here, because there's a chance that he played Guzma to get rid of that for the attack and still has like a Professor's in hand or something. But with 2 cards, I'll just wait. When he starts drawing more and there's more likelihood of having supporters, I can play it. He's having a very good start. This is a great start for his deck. Getting Sylveon out with the energy, he can attack next turn. Now, this is why Dark Pendant is so good, because he already used his Guzma, so now he will be discarding a card. And essentially what I'm looking for here is, hey, does he discard a supporter? And he did have the Professors. If he discards a supporter, Silver can be held. If he discards, I think it's an Eevee bag, then we can go ahead and consider using the Silver. Pokeball's great. It gets us our GuzzLord, and having 2 GuzzLords with a Lusamine in hand means that I can just use the front, do Grindcore, and then use the back for building up. So when we get the Lusamine, we can follow up for big damage. I don't care about Mars. I guess the reason here is I just don't expect him to Mars me from 1 to 3. Although I do really want to keep the Lusamine. I mean, even if they do Mars me, and there you go, I get 2 cards. And again, right now, looking at this game state, who do you think is going to win? Like, this is why the deck is so good, because with flip of a coin, it becomes 50-50 game to like, I have a 70% chance of winning this game on turn 4, turn 5, just because it's going to carry into the late game so well. And here we know, okay, he could, if I miss this flip, he's going to kill my GuzzLord, but I have Lusamine in hand, right? So even if I miss, I'm not too worried about it. Because yes, he kills my guy, but then I just follow up next turn and kill his Sylveon. And Espeon is weak to Dark. So we're going to be doing a lot of damage, so he can't put in Espeon unless he gets a cape. Now, how often do they run double cape? Well, apparently, some people do. This doesn't matter. I think he doesn't realize I have Lusamine. If you run up against this deck, just expect Lusamine. It comes up pretty often. Yeah, he runs double cape. Hey, it's good. It's good when you're in a life-gaining deck and you're healing a lot. I can see double cape being very beneficial. But honestly, I just wouldn't have caped the front Sylveon. Yeah, we know he's going to get rid of the Mars. We saw that Mars earlier. which again is really good for us. Like having him have to top deck is so toxic. They have to top deck to even have a chance, and we're just sitting back like, yeah, this game's over. Just playing my cards. Like, all right, what are you gonna do? The game becomes very easy to play. At a certain point, you can just kind of autopilot. At the beginning of the game, you know, you're wanting to play a supporter every turn because you have a lot of supporters. Just play a supporter every turn, but try to make sure that you play sequencing the supporters is really important. But I don't know, man. At a certain point, like I think he silvers me here, but like which one? Like Sabrina, you have to get rid of. Otherwise, I win the game next turn. But even then, I hit you, and then what can you do? Like, if you try to retreat, I just Cyrus you back out. I'm about to do massive damage. You cannot one shot anything. I draw the Sabrina anyways, which that feels so bad for the opponent. Like, oh man, I tried to buy one turn and they get the Sabrina back. This is an easy game. Very easy game against what is a pretty good deck. Again, I think the Espeon Sylveon is an A tier deck. So right now we're going up against a bunch of A tier decks, and this is also an A tier deck that nobody's playing. I guess because Buzzwole, but you don't see Buzzwole that much in the ranked here, at least around the top 10K. I think I'm in top 10K now, yeah. So we're at the top 10K, and you still see Buzzwole quite a bit, but maybe not as much in tournament play. I'm not sure about that. I don't play tournaments. I'm very casual. I'm not a YouTuber. I'm just making this video because I do think that we should be playing GuzzLord. It's a great deck. All right. So this next game is I don't remember. Oh, I do remember. Oh, this is a really interesting game. This shows you the prevalence of getting a good flip, getting a little lucky. This guy pops off. This guy gets everything he wants and more. So he's playing Turtonator. He's gonna drop the Litten, so we know he's playing Turtonator. He gets the Kiawe turn one. It's not looking good for your boy. We have quote unquote bricked. We didn't get the GuzzLord. We only have one Pokemon. We're gonna run Team Rocket Grunt here. And we miss. So we're already in a really bad spot. But with this control deck comes a little bit of patience. Immediately he rare candies into Cineroar. This guy got everything he wants. At this point, you're looking at the game going, what is the percent chances that you're going to win? And you're like, not good. Not good. But we pull it out. Honestly, this was a fun game. I don't think Turtonator Incineroar is a high tier deck, but you just got to get a little bit lucky. We get the Celesteela with Turtonator in the front and a Team Rocket. So essentially what I'm trying to do here is just discard one energy. If I can discard one energy, I can lock them out for a turn. And I'm considering, like, do I do the front? Do I put energy on the back? But I just expect I probably won't get the heads. But I get 2 heads. 3 heads, whatever. I discard all of his energy. This is why I love this deck. This is why this deck is so much fun to play. Because now, unless he gets another Kiawe, he's not doing anything with that Turtonator in the front. So you'll see, he just goes, alright, forget the Turtonator. I'm just going to start building up the back. Which is, again, a smart play. And for me, I'm like, okay, well, now I can just Girdle, do nothing. It doesn't matter who I put the energy on here. Not really, because I can just pivot. Again, Celesteela is so good. Being able to free pivot is so nice, because there's no mistake here. Like, from which when you put the energy on, you know he's not attacking next turn. He's not doing anything with Turtonator. He can't Lyra, he can't Leaf. So it gives us time to just be like, all right, let's sit back. If he red cards me, Mars me, whatever, I don't really care. And maybe it'll give me GuzzLord. So being able to slow the game down puts you in such an advantageous position when you have a control deck. And here's the one time where it's like, I do just hold. I'm not playing Mars. I'm just sitting back waiting. I will silver, I guess. All right, let's see what's in his hand. Hal. Okay, well, obviously we know he's playing Hal. Get that out of his hand. Hal essentially one-shots GuzzLord. So very scary. Now we're just going to go ahead and start attacking. Deal some damage. We know he doesn't have Lyra in hand. We don't even think he runs Lyra. I don't know how much space they have for Lyra. I don't think they ran Leaf before. Okay, so he does fill up his hand. Again, we have Mars in hand. There's no reason. I think, again, we're just trying to slow the game down. We finally pull the GuzzLord, which is very nice. So now we can start building GuzzLord. We have the Luzamine. We're going to place the Dark Pendant. So we can, if we want, to go ahead and just take out the Turtonator. But it's a 50-50 chance. We could will, but I don't really care to will. Because maybe I want to use that will for discarding energies. And for sure Celesteela dies here. But what we can do at this point, because we slowed the game down so much, is 1-1-2. We can go Celesteela, GuzzLord. And just get some damage off. I don't know what I'm doing here. Oh, I think I'm looking to see what... If you can see what was in their hand when you use silver. So it shows you use silver, and it shows that we made them discard Hal, but you don't get to see what their hand was. And I'm trying to just remember like what was in their hand. But it kind of... We're just going to start swinging. Because, like I said, they popped off. We somehow managed to just hang in there, and now the goal is like maybe we can just 1-1-2. Maybe we can make them go through both Celesteelas, and see if we can't just get the damage off, because we know they run Hal. Hal is going to one-shot your GuzzLord with the 140. So if we do damage, we're going to get one shot. It's a rough area where we're at, but we have so much ability to just discard energy, discard their hand, Luzamine. So GuzzLord's going to be stacked now. Like we're somehow in a good position after they popped off and drawn their whole deck, played all of their Incineroars, like Kialway turn 1 with Turtonator, like the best possible game they could have, and yet we're still in it, right? So, okay, so what do we do here? We can will, so we can get the damage and Luzamine next turn. They could Lily, right? So we'll for sure get the 100 damage off. They'll Lily go up to 160, right? Now the thing is we can always not Luzamine and play like a TRG or play another card. We kind of make a mistake here because we should have known that they had a Lily, right? And we could have taken another turn to kind of refill our hand. It doesn't seem like they're running any hand disruption. Now I don't know if they were or not. But now the game kind of comes down to a wire, right? Where it's like, oh well, you have to discard a lot of energy, or you know, Sabrina and make him discard a lot of energy. We get the second GuzzLord, which can be good. I don't know if it's really gonna matter, because essentially what we can do is they can't Sabrina. They have to have Hal. So they're at 2, and we're like, all right, well, let's Mars them and try to discard some of that energy. Make it to where they have to top deck the Hal. Just make them top deck. They're running 2 Hals, most likely. Sometimes they run 1. If they run a Lily and Hal, they're running a lot of cards, but we gotta make them top deck a Hal. But it doesn't matter, because we discard all their energy. Now if they hit us, they're discarding more cards. How fun is that? What is that? A 12.5% chance to discard 3 energies, and we got it. So now they're gonna want to retreat, because maybe they think that I can kill them next turn. And then this is where you kind of put your opponent into a position where they start making mistakes. Because we went from being down and out, they popped off, they had everything they wanted. We started with Celesteela and nothing else, and we just slowed the game down. just took our time to build up to the point where it's like, hey, we still have a chance. So he goes ahead and blows one How Now that'll ensure that he can kill next turn. The thing is, though, is that we have Sabrina in hand. That Kiawe's worthless. He does misplay a few times here. So unfortunately, I do not shake off the burn, and I no longer have Celesteela to shake it off that way. So I have to stick with the guy in the front. But here's the thing is I have Luzamine. So now I could possibly pivot back to the other one, Luzamine that one to get the energy up. But I will Sabrina, and I will try to slow the game down even further. Because now he's stuck with this guy in front, unless he has a Lyra, unless he has a Leaf, which I don't think he's running either of those. But we make him have to play the Lyra, we make him have to play the Leaf. Scary thing is here, look at that, 70 damage. He's gonna do 50. So he's kind of stuck. Like he can't do anything. He drew a Turtonator. And here's the thing. That's game. He doesn't do enough damage. Somehow the game was slowed down enough to where I could get to this point in the game and win. How fun is that? The opponent popped off, got everything he wanted. I quote-unquote bricked. Did not have a good starting hand. Started with Celesteela. Celesteela did not draw into GuzzLord until late in the game, but I'm able to 1-1-2, I guess 1-1. So he had to go through 2 Celesteelas and then a GuzzLord and just pull out the dub. This is why this deck is so good. Slowing the game down in this meta is massive. Now, obviously, I got very lucky. 12% chance to discarding 3 energies. Without that, yeah, the game would have been lost. But yeah, that kind of makes it more fun, in my opinion. And it happens quite often. I flipped a lot of tails there and then got lucky. Okay. So we're on a 3-game win streak now. Got super lucky in that last game. I bricked. I drew all the right cards. I got very lucky on the coin flips and then ended up winning a game after the opponent popped off. Now we're going into another good game, and I think this is more meta. I don't think Incineroar is as meta. You don't see it as much, but Oricorios you will see quite a bit. And this deck deals with Oricorios quite well. Honestly, one of the better decks that I played against Oricorio. At least in a sense that with Will, you for sure can take it out with the Celesteela. Celesteela one-shots Oricorios even with capes. And again, with Silvally, you could slow the game down quite a bit. Force them to play into a Celesteela, essentially. Force them to play the Oricorio just to die to Celesteela. And at that point, usually you can clean up because all you have to do is discard 1 energy every other turn is kind of what you want. It turns Silvally into a Pokemon that takes 3 energy to attack and or can only attack every other turn, which is not that great. Okay, so we're starting off here. Here's a good start. Now we know we have to begin with Celesteela. We know we have to slow the game down. The problem is that he already has a very good start, so we need to ensure that we can last. This deck runs Silvally, Oricorio, and Zeraora. He got Zeraora at the start, which he can use to Dawn or Elemental Charge the new tool that they've created. Very strong in this deck. The new tool is much better than Dawn. Don't even run Dawn. This is another deck I play all the time. Oricorio, Silvally. Zeraora, I've been playing it with the Pichu and babies, so Magby and Pichu. Also very strong. Also, we went first, I think. Kind of sucks. This deck doesn't do as good first, but that's okay. Many decks don't. We're able to stall. That's kind of the name of the game in these situations where your opponent has a quick start. We're just going to pass I don't really care even if they Cyrus up. We just have to kill one Oricorio, and then we can get back into the game. And we will. This is where Will is actually a really good card because he cannot kill Celesteela in one hit. He has to go through this Celesteela. We have the Luzamine in hand, so even when he kills Celesteela, we'll be able to load up our GuzzLord. And we have all Pokemon boards, which means we have all the pivots we want. We have essentially GuzzLord's got a lot of HP, so you can tank a lot of Oricorio shots. And if you kill the Silvally, they don't do much damage after that, so it's kind of easy to go from there. Now he plays his Zeraora. He will get damage off here. That's fine. Again, at this point, we don't care if we flip heads and take out the Zeraora. Even if we miss, it's okay, because once Celesteela goes down, we'll be able to stack GuzzLord, and GuzzLord will take out Zeraora. And then we have Sabrina to get off of the last remaining Oricorio. Yeah, again, we're looking to be in a good position here. They had a standard start. They went second. They got all their energies. We know that they're able to run and move up energies. It looks like they're just going to go straight into Silvally. Do they cape here? I can't remember. It's probably not the best play from them. They can do a bit of damage. Oh, Team Rocket Grunt's really nice. Just go ahead and Team Rocket Grunt. I don't remember what I play, but I would Team Rocket Grunt here. If I can discard one energy, again, that kind of seals the game. I don't get it. It's okay. They already discarded energy themselves by retreating. Maybe they just felt like, oh, if he flips heads with the Celesteela, then the game is lost. But to be honest, Celesteela without the will, I feel like I never hit it. But I don't care if the Celesteela dies. The only thing you have to worry about now is like, oh, well, if they have Cyrus, but if he Cyrus is up and kills the GuzzLord now, then he uses the Cyrus, and we're just gonna kill, at least attempt to, but yep, he kills Celesteela, which allows us to lose Mine, and we're going to kill Silvally, so Cyrus does nothing. He won't be able to kill Cyrus, and I think we're just gonna go ahead and throw Dark Pennant on the back one and just be like, yeah, here you go, go ahead and Cyrus. Okay, sorry, I had a work message. So here we're going to take out the Silvally, obviously. And they're forced to put in Oricorio. The game's over. There's really nothing they could do at this point because we have the Sabrina in hand. Even still, we can always stall and force them to discard energy if they Marsed us. But to be honest, yeah. This deck is really good against Silvally or Oricorio because they're able to slow it down. You only need to discard 1-2 energy to slow it down, get a couple extra turns that allows you to build up into the late game. So, yep, game over, Sabrina. And, yeah, that's it. So, honestly, this deck is pretty good. I've been having a real easy time with a roughly 65% win rate at this point. I went on a 7-game win streak. I lost one, and then on another 4-game win streak, I'm in the top 10K now. So honestly, at this point, I was like, all right, that's good enough for today, and I'm gonna call it. But yeah, let me know if you guys, if there's anything else. To be honest, this deck is so strong that I think I think it's going to be pretty good in the meta. The only deck that I've been struggling with is Buzzwole, and maybe you'll see Buzzwole 1, 2 out of 10 games. So it's got a pretty good matchup against every other relevant meta deck. And it's able to really sustain itself well into the late game. It's honestly the most fun control deck I've played. It is pretty annoying to play against, I'm sure. But yeah, let me know if you guys have any other suggestions. Yeah, see ya.